As you know, we've been following the heartbreaking story of missing teenager Amber Stevens.
If anyone knows anything, please help us.
Wow, well, that's a clip of the new film, 8 Days, which follows the true story of Amber Stevens, who was forced into the world of sex trafficking. It's a tough subject, but one that is very important to Mrs. America 2014, Austen Williams, who's also a wonderful friend of mine. And she's joining us now to talk about a screening of the film here tonight in Dallas. How are you, friend?
I'm doing so well. Thank you for having me.
It's so good to see you. And I know when we competed in Mrs. Texas together, and she just went on to win Mrs. America, and she's going to win Mrs. World.
But
I tell you, what I noticed about you was your authenticity and your heart, and this was your platform. And here now you have a film that is literally debuting all over the country about this very subject. Tell us about it.
It's actually really amazing. Right about 3 weeks before I went to Mrs. America, I booked a role in this film, and we actually shot it. So right before I went to Mrs. America, I just kind of had this opportunity to speak about my platform in a really unique way. Lots of beauty queens and pageant people, they'll do school programs and fundraisers and things like this.
It doesn't happen by accident, though, does it?
But, I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect, so I was really thankful.
And an interesting question I had for you during the break, I said, well, are you showing this film at film festivals? And you told me no, and tell me why. And I think this is great.
Because in order to show at film festivals, you can't premiere. And each premiere, we've had 8 premieres. The film was filmed here in Dallas, and this is our final and our biggest premiere. And each premiere has been a benefit for a different anti-trafficking organization based in the cities. So we've been to Los Angeles, Seattle, New York, DC, Chicago, Atlanta, Nashville, and now we're coming here and we're benefiting an organization called Traffic 911.
And it's important. Tell us about human trafficking, because I think a lot of people don't understand.
I'd like to know this girl's story.
So this is based on actual events, and it's about a girl who's a teenager. She was kidnapped by friends from her school. In this particular film, she lives in Highland Park, but that's just to give you an idea of what the actual girl's lifestyle was like. The point of this is that it can happen to anyone. We sometimes like to dissociate and act as if it's someone else's problem. But the fact of the matter is, human trafficking is a crime that doesn't care about your race, it doesn't care about your socioeconomic background, it doesn't care about your religion. All it cares about is that good people won't stand up and fight what is wrong. And as long as good people do nothing, then evil wins.
And I think people think prostitution and all this. You're talking about girls who are literally being plucked out of their communities, basically kidnapped and forced to enter the sex market, right?
Absolutely. And in our culture, we sometimes condemn prostitution. We go, oh, well, they chose that. But let's think about this reasonably. No little girl has ever been like, I want to be a prostitute.
It reminds
me
of the movie Taken.
Yes. And actually, Taken was one of the first times I actually realized that human trafficking was a real issue. The thing about Taken, though, is that it kind of sensationalizes the issue. We imagine a dad who's going to sweep in and fight for his daughter, but that's not necessarily the reality.
Yeah, and didn't we just hear recently there was a big ring that was busted that took them like 6 years to bust, and there were hundreds and hundreds of people who were arrested here in the U.S.
Yes.
Who helped facilitate this. You think that it's maybe something that happens across our borders and they come in and take the girls and but these are people,
here,
U.S. residents.
100,000 children and teenagers go missing in the U.S. every year.
Taken by U.S. residents to take them somewhere else.
And sometimes they're taken by other people. Traffic 911, the director of the organization, she told me once that there was a girl in South Texas who was sold by her mother for a pickup truck.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I mean, it's just so unimaginable to me, but what can we do besides seeing the movie? Where can we get more information about the movie, sex trafficking, and all that stuff?
I think a lot of times we go, we have to do something grand in order to fight human trafficking, but that's not necessarily the case. For example, this fabric and the dress that I'm wearing, it's made by freed survivors of human sex trafficking through an organization called the Jubilee Market. The director of that organization, her name is Liz Glover, she said something really poignant to me. She said, everybody has one thing that they can do. My background is in window treatments, and I figured if I could drape fabric on a broad. I could certainly do it on a person. And now she does vocational training for freed survivors and teaches them how to make fabric and how to make clothes.
That dress is, can you stand up really quick
It's
just so we can see this dress, because
adorable.
it is so pretty.
Look at her.
Thank you.
And she just
Yeah, I'll be
looks
ordering
so
that today.
good. And the thing about it is, you've got such an amazing platform. You'll be competing in Mrs. World, in the Mrs. World pageant in November, and undoubtedly spreading this message and bringing awareness to something so serious. Well, you can screen 8 Days tonight at Studio Movie Grill on Technology Boulevard in Dallas. For tickets, go to findamber.com. And remember, proceeds from tonight's event go to Traffic 911 Dallas. All righty.
When we come back, we'll meet McKinney's Crystal Yates, whose singing and songwriting earned her a coveted Nashville Award. She's coming up next.